Welcome everyone to A Hat in Time. Last time, we've finished off basically all of Mafia Town, leaving just one act which we can't do yet as we're missing something. And we've done a lot of time rifts, and we started a new chapter where we obtained this new hat, the ice hat. This time, before we begin doing more of chapter 2, we'll be exploring this right here, as the ice hat is required for any ice platform. And in the mailroom seems to be there's a time rift here, so let's take care of it. There's some more enemies here now, which we have not seen before. These are like the birds, but they're a lot quicker, and they are more prone to chasing you. As you can see, the ice hat gives you a stomping ability, which you can use against an enemy. However, the best tactic will be to just avoid these birds, as they are very, very fast. And after reaching a checkpoint, we get greeted by a ton of them. And if you're good with your parkour, you can escape them all and get the timepiece. I think we'll take this, as it's a new flare for the ice hat, which we've only just acquired. So now, instead of wearing a little blue hat with small ears, we've now got a Santa's cap. And, well, who is this? They seem fairly new. But why does that hat seem familiar? So, we meet again, my arch nemesis. What? You don't remember me? How rude. It's me, boss of the Mafia, remember? You blew me up in our little indiscretion, and your young friend captured my remains in this jar. Yes, this is what happened to the boss of the Mafia after we beat him up in Act 4. Mustache Girl did go through with the plan and took his mushed remains and put them in a jar. Luckily though, his mustache and nose are still intact and somehow work on the outside. Plus he speaks without a mouth. I'm without a body. I should be furious. But it's okay. The past is the past, and I'll accept your carcass as an apology. You won't hand it over? Such nerve on such a small child. If I had hands, I would slap you. I'll just buy a new body then. Must be some poor soul out there who would be willing to trade his corpse for money. I may not look like it right now, but I'm well travelled. I know the whereabouts of all secrets on this planet. But buy my map badge and I will show you where you can find the relics that will make you rich. The boss of the Mafia has one particular badge, the Relic Finder. Every time you would stop, a map will appear in the bottom right, which will lead you to a nearby relic. This is a great badge for anyone that is a little bit on the lost side when it comes to the relics. And because of the relic I finished off at the end of the last episode, a purple time rift appeared. And this time rift is in Deadbird Studio. But first, before we begin with any of the time rifts, we should do Murder on the Owl Express.
Welcome back, lassie. I haven't written the script for my next movie yet, so we're not recording. I'll call for you when the script is ready.
So, the movie's not quite yet done. And as you can see, the train is moving. But there seems to be a lot of crows suddenly.
Why, hello there, fellow owl. I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. As you can tell, I am also an express owl. I do much hooting. From one owl to another, we can share details, yes? What is your uncle's sister's maiden name?
I don't feel like I should trust this man, or owl, as he calls himself. So let's just give a random name for our uncle's sister. How about we go with Helen. If anyone out here is called Helen, I am sorry for making you appear in this.
It is
Helen.
I see. This is the kind of uncle's sister's maiden name I would expect from a fellow express owl.
I do have an uncle, and I do have an aunt, so I could have put my actual aunt's name in, but I will not do that because that would be intrusion.
Hello, fellow express owl. Do you care about security? I care about security a whole lot. You should not be going around telling information to strangers. It could be a security risk. I can help your daily life become more secure. What is your favorite combination of letters and numbers?
Clearly, this guy just wants us to put in a password of sorts, so let's just give him a ton of the same thing.
C is also my favorite combination of letters and numbers.
Well, that's him dealt with.
Did you notice that there's suddenly a lot of crows on this train? They all gone on to the last stop. Speaking of, at which stop did you get on the train? What do you mean you fell from the sky?
Well, I guess he just doesn't understand where we come from.
Did you know that having a pet helps improve self-confidence and relieve stress?
That's a very good thing to know.
Did you also know that pets can have pets? It is true.
I don't know about that.
Unfortunately, us express owls are not allowed to have pets. It is a sacrifice we must make in the name of hooting. But if you had a pet, what do you think the name of your pet's childhood pet would be?
Well, why don't we just give him something fairly easy? Just pet.
Is certainly an interesting name for a pet, even for a pet's pet.
Have you noticed all these crows around the place?
Yeah, there's even more crows.
They keep asking for personal details, and I never know what to answer.
Seems like this guy's in a spot of bother. Oh no.
Hello, fellow express owl. I am stuck on an advanced mathematical and scientific issue.
Good for you, because I've got a lot of maths and science that I know.
Do you see this advanced formula on the blackboard? I cannot decipher it. Can you decipher the scientific formula for me? What does it say?
This is clearly one of those security measures. Well, we might as well go with him on this one. DCB for L-O-S-T.
I see. The solution is... It was obvious. Thank you, fellow Express Owl. And thank you for agreeing to the terms and conditions on the backside of the blackboard.
And here's the terms and conditions. It's quite a lot.
I don't get it. How is this a scientific equation of any kind? It's just scrambled numbers and letters, like those you see on an online form.
Yep. And right here you can see they're trying to solve what the conductor is. Bird? Anger. And he lacks empathy.
It's really difficult to get settled down on this train with these crows crowding the place. They keep interviewing me about everything I do.
Well, these crows just want all our information. Speaking of which, sadly...
Fellow Express Owl, do you ever wonder what it would be like to be a superhero? The most important feature of a superhero is the name. Every superhero needs an intricate name to their fame. If you were a superhero, what would your name be? If entered on an online form with standardized account identification requirements.
Once more, he's just asking personal detail. So, let's just give him a hero from a game. Why not? And what better character to think of than Mario?
That name is great. I can already imagine it. The mighty
Mario.
Savior of justice. I'll just write your answer down here real quick.
And he takes our answer. Well, going into the cafeteria, there's a lot of crows.
It didn't even matter what he said anyway. Us Express Owls all have parts of our body we're ashamed of. This is why some owls choose to pluck their feathers. Which body part of yours are you the most ashamed of, fellow Express Owl?
I don't know if we should give him this. I'm recording. It's very hard to think of a good body part. You know what? Why don't we just make up one on the spot? This will be an entirely new body part that Hat Kid has. The Radica.
Oh, poor Express Owl. You shouldn't be ashamed of your but you'd better get your checked out by a doctor. I read online it could be a sign of bird flu.
Well, that was random for him to talk about, especially since only we have such a body part. And up here is a Conductor Token. They are just bonus points at the end of the mission. We'll get into what those bonus points are even for when we get towards the end of the mission. But for now, let's pick up another piece of yarn. There seems to be a key needed. As we can see, there's no key here. So why don't we try going through the VIP room? Well, there's a key right here. How lucky.
Wait! Don't come in here! I lost my contact lens somewhere. Please, don't step on it. I can't move out of the way. I might step on it myself.
Well, I'm that good. He's lost his contacts. But for now, seems to be there's a present at the front of the train. How strange. Well, let's open it. Hey, we're a detective. This outfit is for rental, but this covers the normal hat.
Is this the kid with the hat? I hope you like my present. Go to the back of the train. Your uncle's sister has come to visit you.
Helen has come to visit.
You better show your fam some love, or I'll be talking to a corpse next time.
Well then, it's probably best we go and see Aunt Helen? Strange. I thought Hatkid didn't have an aunt. Oh well. This ain't good.
Murder on my Owl Express? I can't believe someone would murder one of the Express Owls. And I can't believe even more that it's your uncle's sister.
Helen.
What do you have to say for yourself?
Helen.
Ooh, you're giving me the quiet treatment, eh? That's what a murderer would do.
Leave this case to us. We're Caw, the Crow Agent Watch. We've been monitoring everyone on this train since the last station.
Perhaps that's why they wanted information from us.
We'll be searching the entire train for evidence. No one is allowed to go outside of this wagon.
What? I can't even walk around in my own train? Oh, how dare ya!
Once the clock hits midnight, we'll get off at the station with the murderer in cuffs. Stay here while we investigate further.
And with that, we have 1 hour left until the murder is solved. There are 2 ways to finish this story. One in which we obtain all the evidence. The other, we are the worst possible detective and find none. So why don't we start in this room? And the first suspect is the conductor himself, owner of the train, being the one behind the murder. Exploring further in, see that there's a key that we needed. And if we were to use the ice hat, we get another conductor point. Walking through the door, we proceed with our time.
So you think you could just sneak around the train like this? Just drop the detective hat. You'll never catch the real murderer. You can't point your finger at someone without clues. The clock is ticking. Will you be able to find me the clues to point your finger at the murderer?
Well, it seems to be that we need to find these clues quick enough, as we were told by that phone call. The clock is ticking. Well, looks like the crows have become a available suspect. This entails a lot more than you'd expect. There's also a locked door here, but hitting this button activates the ice panel, so we can just bounce back up when we need to. Now that we've explored that part, we need to come back down and head into the cafeteria. And we need to avoid the view of the crows by going past when they're laughing. But now if we go to the VIP room, the owl that was guarding the doorway is gone. So now we can explore. There's a relic here, along with two other rooms, both which are locked, but a piece of evidence which says Hallen is now a suspect. And there's the key. Now that we've got the key, we can return to the ice panel that we had to go by, as there's nothing else around. Okay, this might seem like a very tricky bit of parkour that I'm going to try. And it is because of the positioning. If we die, we come back here. Luckily, there's a heart pond.
Oh, you got some evidence that the murderer is me? I laugh. Get back here when you got all the facts.
Seems to be. We can't do anything until we've got all the information. And that was just unfortunate for me, how he was timed. So it seems to be we've got to come back in here to climb back up. Now, we can come in here and use the ice hat to come back up. Unlock the door and push this button, which opens up the gate here and lowers that member of core, allowing us to come through this door. We've got only 30 owl minutes left, and most of the members of core are here. Now into the boiler room. This place is very much the equivalent of a true stealth mission, except we can cheat a large majority of it. With a few well done jumps, you can dodge basically all of the crows. And carry on. Into this room.
You don't give up, do you? It seems the only way I can get rid of you is to make you run out of time. So here's a fun time eater. Has gotten itself in an unusual situation. It's hanging out on a thin rope for dear life, just above a wood-cutting machine. What an odd coincidence. What are you going to do? Save it from becoming sawdust? Or figure out who the murderer is?
Right now, your main priority should be to save the childhood pet, or in the case that I've done, save pet. And to reach pet, it ain't that hard. And as a matter of fact, I'll show you that from coming here, if you've done this correctly, you can actually just cheat most of the way up. Hit the switch and save pet. There's a good reason for saving pet.
Thank you, kind human, for saving me. Woof, woof. I found this clue on the murderer. Hope it helps you. Woof, woof.
We get a clue that it was the express owls. Also, the wood cut out of the pet falls over. With this key in hand, we now go to the lounge. And in here is the 5th clue.
Gotcha.
The victim is now an available suspect. In other words, it's plausible that it was a suicide. It's advisable that you go the whole distance over here and up to this room, as this leads to a button. The camera's very much breaking while I'm up here, which leads to the platform moving. The camera really does not like being close up to the roof of any room, so sorry about the
This is the life.
broken look.
Nothing beats a hot sauna.
Now, if you be cautious of the birds, you can grab the key here in the sauna.
Heck it. I don't want to go out in the cold.
And with only 10 minutes left, we leave the lounge Now, we can't actually climb up this wall entirely, which is why we needed the platform. And we open up the last room with the last bit of evidence to say that we are a suspect. You can see they've kind of figured out a few things that are in Hat Kid's hat, being a burger, a lollipop, space, chocolate bar and some sweets. And supposedly our ponytail has some bones in it. Very strange. But time is up.
So, who done it?
We don't know. We couldn't find any conclusive evidence. We have no idea who murdered this owl.
What? So you've done pickle to solve the case? Who's the murderer? Which one of you did it?
And right now, with all 6 evidence, we obtain the true detective. We now get to choose who the murderer is. Is it Core? Protect and serve at all costs. The owls. We've got our eyes everywhere and we saw nothing. Is it the conductor? What you looking at me for, Peckneck? Is it us? I had to do it, or the voices wouldn't stop. Is it our uncle's sister? Or Helen? Or finally, is it the victim? You can't blame me. You can't blame a dead owl. I mean, well, that's fairly interesting. All of these end the same way, but we're going to choose our uncle's sister.
Mrs. did it after all.
Miss Hallen did it after all.
Alright, you got me, darling.
If you recognize the voice, you know who it actually is.
But why? Why murder one of the express owls?
As you might have noticed, darling, I'm not actually Mrs. It's me, DJ Grooves.
DJ Grooves was the secret voice the whole time.
I know you've been having trouble shooting the movie, darling, so I made up this scheme to help you create an interesting movie plot. The Express Owl was kind enough to put on the rubber knife and play dead to help me.
What's a what? Rubber knife?
Yeah, can I go now? I'm kind of sore from playing dead for so long. This
Well.
rubber knife is also a bit uncomfortable.
Apparently, he wasn't actually killed. It's just a fake knife. Now the question is, how's the knife on him? Because it looks like it's gone straight through him.
Well, thanks for solving the murder, lassie. Not only did you reveal the murderer, you also revealed that the victim was never harmed. And you gave us intense footage for the movie. What? Do you think I'd let a murder happen on my Owl Express? Oh, think again. That was all just a setup for my newest Owl Express movie. Murder on the Owl Express. Oh, you think DJ Picnic will make a movie that's even remotely as good? Ha! I think not. Here, take this thingamajig and get out of here.
And with that, the first timepiece from one of the movies is ours. Each of these acts ends slightly differently. Murder on the Owl Express, directed by Conductor. Starring Conductor as the savvy train conductor, some girl as useless as Detective Useless, crows as car agents, owls as owls. The reviews are in. We get points for the ponds, points for the conductor points, and points for each of the pieces of evidence. The main gimmick of this chapter is the point system. Dependent on how many points you got for both sides will determine the ending. So, I would say we have enough time for one other mission. Picture perfect.
Welcome to the first day of shooting, darling. We need to transform you into the biggest movie star the bird world has ever seen. You need to become a diva. That's why I've called for a press conference here on our moon set. You need to get out there in front of the cameras and electrify the public, darling. Get them really up and going for your movies. Once you've got them going crazy, come back here and we'll show off our new prop. That's right. We'll unveil our new movie prop to the masses.
So, what Grooves is saying here, once we gain enough popularity, he will bring out the timepiece. And so our mission, to gain as many fans as possible.
Wow, thanks.
There's also groove tokens.
You call, darling? Looks like it's endorsement time. All you penguins out there know my name, DJ Grooves. And I'm telling you, this young girl here is the next hot thing, guaranteed. Just look as she'll climb up this statue and rescue the poor puppy that has gotten stuck. Right, darling?
Now we need to climb up this statue very easily and
Look at
push
that.
it.
She helped the puppy down safe and sound. Too bad it ran off and definitely didn't break into multiple pieces. This is truly a diva I can get behind. Let it be known that this little girl is all about animals. Make sure you join her fan club, DJ Grooves out.
And because of what DJ Grooves there did, our fan club grew tremendously. And we need to be cautious, because in this map, there are cars. And it seems to be there's another Grooves token.
You call, darling? Looks like it's endorsement time. All you penguins out there know my name, DJ Grooves. Look at how street smart this diva is. She's standing in this sinister alleyway right next to some potential wrongdoers. Danger is her middle name, and she's not afraid to step outside of her comfort zone. Make sure you join her fan club, DJ Grooves out.
And we gain a lot more fans. Some people believe in this chapter that Grooves' points are completely set, while the conductors are controllable. However, people say that it's set so that Grooves always will be the larger. This I can falsify, as my first original playthrough, I actually got more points for Conductor before Grooves. It was only during my replays where I got more on Grooves. Meaning you can actually be a bit more lax with your points.
The audience is going crazy, darling. Come over here and show off our new stunner. Our new prop.
And with that, Grooves brings out the timepiece, so we can finish the mission now. However, as you might notice, there is Yarn here as well as the badge seller.
Please, disregard my twitchy behavior. My body has been to places that have left a permanent mark.
There's a new badge. The scooter badge. Upgrades your sprint hat to a scooter. It's considered one of the best badges, but there's a badge that we will see in the future that I consider actually way more worth than the scooter. As you can see, there's no more rainbow glimmer other than the timepiece itself. So, let's go and pick it up. Picture Perfect, directed by DJ Grooves, starring DJ Grooves as the stylish mentor, Lil Girl as mysterious diva, Moon Penguins as hungry public. Reviews are in. And as you can see, I've got less points by 100 from both of their first movies. But they both have a secondary movie. But before we can even talk about that, we need to talk about having 14 timepieces. This allows us... Power has been restored in the basement. The chapter Alpine Skyline is now available. Now we've obtained all 4 of the chapters. So now you might be thinking, well, what's this over here about? That we'll talk about when the time is right. For now, I would say this is a good point to stop. So far, we've obtained 2 more timepieces, which were in a very prolonged state due to Murder on the Orient Express being quite a long movie in comparison to Picture Perfect. But we've also done another time rift here in the mailroom. We've also unlocked the Chapter 2 Purple Rift, and we'll soon be able to unlock further time rifts. Here's the passport, just for anyone that hasn't seen it before. Passport for the Federal Bird, for the Federal Union of Birds. I'm legally a bird now, I think. Yes, she's not quite sure. But with that, next time on A Hat in Time, we will look at the next 2 acts. Or that would have been the case if a time rift had not appeared. And that would also have been the case if Act 4 did not require a specific item. So, instead, I will meet you all back here for when we start Chapter 3. This is Mystic Gamer, and goodbye.